Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in. So I'm Sean, and as you know, I'm on a mission to fix our economy. Yesterday, we talked about the core of my thesis, which is essentially to fix the economy, we have to get rid of interest. So to show you how much interest enters our system and drives up the price of our money, I'm actually going to look at an example home buy. I've worked all the numbers based on the latest interest rates. Websites and materials that are available for anyone to calculate what their expected mortgage would be. And we're going to take a look at that, plus insurance, plus a few other costs. And we're going to see that basically by the time you get done buying a house, you pay 2x what it's actually worth. So let's get into the numbers here. So as you can see, when you buy a $500,000 home, based on numbers I pulled here from Bankrate, a home price of $500,000, your down payment has got to be $100,000 or 20% to avoid foreclosure insurance, right? The average length of your loan is going to be 30 years. That's pretty standard. The interest rate right now is going to be 7.24%. So that assumes you have a great credit score. Remember, if you don't, it's worse. And the zip code is pretty much not important at this point. But as you'll see on the website, bankrate.com, the average mortgage you're going to pay a month right now is about $2,600, right? The 2663. So the interesting part is you're actually only paying $2,300 or $2,317, basically only $2,300 here for the price of the home. Then you have property tax, and then you have homeowners insurance. So what I did was I basically took all of those numbers into our spreadsheet here, and you can see based on a $500,000 loan at that calculated $2,300 a month over a 30-year loan, you're going to be paying the $2,300 for 360 months, which equates to a total of $834,120. So guys, we're talking $330,000 more than what the house is actually worth. If you go back to how much it actually costs to build the home, we're looking at $250,000 to $300,000, right? And that might even, in some parts of the country, might even include the land. Down below, I just broke out some additional numbers. So total in taxes, you're going to pay an additional $118,440, and then in total in insurance, you're almost going to pay $25,000 or $24,000 to insurance over the course of that loan. So if you add up all of these numbers, the 800,000, the 118, and the 23,000, you're seeing we're almost at $1 million right there, the $976,000. So let's say that again, right? When you buy a $500,000 loan at today's interest rates, by the end of the 30 years, you've almost paid just shy of $1 million to purchase that home. Now, this is when we talk about inflation and what actually happens. So back in the 70s, Nixon, you might have heard about it, but Nixon issued, and he changed the world forever, right? He changed the world of finance forever. So what he did was, at the time, most banks and most countries in the world who traded with one another, they were on what we call the gold standard, which basically means you had to have a certain amount of gold or physical wealth, right? Precious metals or gems or something that we all agreed on was worth something. In a bank, you had to have a certain percentage of that in a bank in order to loan out money. In the 70s, President Nixon, the Watergate guy, the guy we ended up kicking out and impeaching, anyway, he ended up telling the world, he went on national television and he told the world, we're not going to do that anymore. The United States is shifting to the dollar standard, and the rest of the world is basically going to join us. And so what that means, based on the 1970 announcement from Nixon, is we do not have a certain percentage amount of wealth or gold or precious metals in the bank backing the amount of loans that are being given by all of the major banks. So why is this important? So let's go back to those numbers. When you ask the bank for $500,000, they don't have to have $100,000 in the bank, right, of gold. They can literally just print that money. So when you ask for $500,000, they are saying, okay, we will create $500,000, we will pay for your home, and then over the next 30 years, you will pay us back. They are not only creating the $500,000, but they are then creating the $334,000 that's going to go directly into their pocket. So when you say, hey, bank, I want $500,000, they're going to go, oh yeah, that's cool. You'll just have to pay us $330,000 for that. Now that's more than 50% of the total price. I don't know any market in the world where those numbers make sense. You give that to an investor and you say, yeah, I'll give you $1 million, but you have to give me $500,000 to borrow it. Most investors are going to balk and go away. Most big time commercial investors will walk away. So why are we giving this to the average American? Why are we giving this to people? We need to attack interest, right? Interest is ruining the economy. You can see from this alone, in us asking for $500,000, the bank has essentially just created $834,000, a third of which, almost half, is basically their money. So when you go to them for a loan and you take on all that liability of the loan, you are allowing them to create $334,000 in profit. That's huge. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, you're brilliant, you're beautiful, and I'm glad you're alive. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.